So, you've got this brilliant business idea, right? It feels innovative, it's exciting, and you are just itching to start building. But hold on a second. Did you know that a huge number of startups, something like 42%, fail for one simple reason? There's just no market need for their product. That's a massive number. And it's exactly why market research isn't just some boring step in the process, it's your best defense against failure. Let's break down how to actually do it right.
All right, let's start with the big question, the one that every single entrepreneur needs to ask themselves. What is the number one reason that new products, even the ones that are beautifully designed and perfectly built, end up in the graveyard of failed ideas? And there it is. It's that simple. The most common trap is building a perfect, elegant solution to a problem nobody really has, or at least not enough people to build a business around. It's like you spent months crafting this intricate, beautiful key, only to find out there's no lock for it to open.
Okay, to make sure that doesn't happen to you, we're going to walk through 5 essential parts of good market research. First, we'll tackle that costly assumption that sinks so many new ventures. Then we'll get super focused on defining your customer. After that, we'll dive into how you gather your intel. Next, we'll size up the competition, the arena, if you will, to find your spot. And finally, we'll talk about how to turn all that great info into real, concrete action.
This brings us to our first major point, the costly assumption. You know the one, it's that whole, if you build it, they will come idea. We're going to talk about why that is probably one of the most dangerous ideas in business, and how you can avoid the absolute pain of building something that nobody actually wants to buy.
And you know, this quote really hits home, because it's not just about a business failing. It's personal. When you pour your time, your energy, your savings into an idea, it's a piece of you. And to watch it just fade away because there's no market, well, that's just a gut punch. Solid research is your shield against that kind of heartache. So how do we avoid all that pain? Well, you have to start with the most basic, most important question of all. Who exactly are you building this thing for? And this is where we need to get crystal clear on your target market. Now, this is not about trying to sell to everybody. It's the exact opposite. It's about finding that specific group of people who feel the problem you're solving more than anyone else. Think about it. If you're selling, say, super high-end hiking boots, your target market isn't just people who go outside. No way. It's more like serious hikers, maybe 25 to 45 years old with some disposable income who really care about gear that lasts. See? Specificity is everything. And you can start to flesh out who this person is by looking at some key demographics. You know, things like their age, their gender, how much money they make, their education level. This kind of data helps you build a really clear profile. So you're not just selling to a vague idea, you're building for a real person.
Okay, so once you have a good idea of who you're looking for, it's time to actually start gathering your intel. And this whole process really breaks down into 2 main types, primary and secondary research.
This slide lays it out perfectly. Think of it this way. Primary research is you on the ground, on the front lines, actually talking to potential customers. Secondary research is you back at headquarters, studying maps and reports that other people have already put together. To get the full picture, you absolutely 100% need both.
For your primary research, you've got to get your hands dirty. You can send out surveys to get numbers from a big group, or you can do deep dive interviews and focus groups to get those really rich, detailed stories. Honestly, a great place to start is just by talking to 5 people you think fit your target market. You would be blown away by what you can learn from just 5 conversations.
Now, for secondary research, you're zooming out to look at the big picture. This is like your reconnaissance mission. You're digging into industry reports, you're looking at market statistics, maybe even some academic studies to understand the bigger trends out there. This helps you confirm what you're hearing from people directly.
All right, now that you've got a much better handle on your customer and the market in general, it's time to look around at the other players in the game. Because let's be real, you're not building this in a vacuum. You need to understand the competitive arena you're about to step into.
And a competitive analysis is a really straightforward but super powerful process. It's just 3 steps. First, you got to identify who else is out there. Second, analyze them. What are they selling? What's their pricing? How do they market themselves? And third, and this is where the magic really happens, find the gaps. Where are they falling short? What needs are they not meeting? That is where your opportunity is hiding.
And here's a super practical way to lay all that out. Using a simple table like this just helps you organize everything you find. You can see right away, okay, Company A has a great brand, but they're expensive. Boom, there's an opening for a more affordable option. Or look at Company B. They've got cool features, but their customer reviews are terrible. Well, maybe you can win by focusing on amazing customer service.
Another fantastic tool for this is a good old SWOT analysis. It's a classic for a reason. It helps you look at your own internal strengths and weaknesses, and then you map those against the external opportunities and threats you've found in the market. It just gives you that full 360-degree view of where you stand.
Okay, you've done the work, you've figured out your customer, you've gathered all this intelligence, you've analyzed the competition, you're sitting on a pile of data. Now for the most important step, turning all of that raw info into smart, strategic decisions.
This is really where the rubber meets the road. You're not just collecting data to file it away in a report. You're putting it to work. You are hunting for patterns that prove people are actually hungry for what you're building. You're using this data to make really sharp decisions about your product, your pricing, and how you're going to tell the world about it.
So if you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Market research is what changes your business plan from a wild guess into a calculated move. It moves you from the world of guessing to the world of knowing. So don't guess. Know. That's the real power here.
And it's so important to remember that this process isn't just for, a new coffee shop or something. Whether you're building a physical product or a super advanced AI tool, the fundamentals are exactly the same. You can see in this AI product management lifecycle here, market research is right there at the beginning. It's the foundation that everything else, strategy, design, launch, is built on.
And hey, if you want to go even deeper on this, especially how it all applies to building next-gen products, I'd really recommend checking out the AI Product Management Playbook over on LinkedIn. It's an awesome resource for anyone trying to stay ahead of the curve. Thanks so much for watching.